Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a simple book haul. I did have planned something else entirely, but unfortunately a certain book hasn't arrived yet, and I'm not going to say names, but until it arrives here, we're just going to have to do this. The first grouping is books that I read from the library and I definitely wanted to own them, and the second group is books that were recommended that I just wanted and hope that I give 4+ stars to. Okay, so I'm going to start with the books that I got from the library originally, and now I own them because they were so good I had to have them on my shelves. The first book I bought was When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. The story follows Mira going back to her hometown to go to a friend's wedding, and this friend's wedding is on a plantation, and on this plantation, very scary, spooky stuff happens, and it's a really, really great read. Next in my haul is P. Djeli Clark's Ring Shout. This novella was the perfect read. I really liked how much folklore was put into here, and I can't wait for there to possibly be more stories in this universe. This story focuses on a group of friends who know how to kill certain KKK members that seem to be demons. As you continue to follow these friends, you learn that those demons are not the only ones inhabiting the area. The next book I picked up was by Alain Mabanckou, which is Memoirs of a Porcupine. This was such a fun romp. I highly recommend it if you want to read a memoir that is very funny from the perspective of a porcupine being the double of a Congolese villager who is murdering everyone. And finally, we have Necessary Fiction by Eloghosa Osunde. This is probably my favorite book of this year that I have read. If you need a literary fiction book that centers around queer found family, this is the book for you. It feels like you are with this group going through their last year of life and it culminating into a wonderful event to celebrate everyone. I was so moved by the story and it felt so close to home. I really recommend it if you want a great queer story. I also read Their Eyes Were Watching God last month, and so I wanted to continue with Zora Neal Hurston's work, but specifically with Men in Mules, because this one focuses on African American Southern folktales, and she went down there back to her hometown, Eatonville, Florida, and she collected these folktales. I'm really, really excited to read them. These also heavily influenced P. Djeli Clark's Ring Shout, and so I can't wait to dive in. Okay, so the next book I picked up was I wanted to continue my literary fiction dive. I don't know, I'm very interested in character-focused stories right now, so I picked up The Far Field by Madhuri Vijay. This book focuses on a young woman in India who just lost her mother, and she decides to go find a lost figure from her childhood, and during this exploration, she learns a lot about Indian politics along with finding herself. I'm very excited to pick this up when I do. These next 3 books are from my horror that I want to read before next October, starting with The Silent Companion by Laura Purcell. This one is focusing on a woman who is about to give birth, and she's moving into the countryside estate of her current husband, and something is hidden in a room somewhere, and for whatever reason, that wooden figure looks exactly like her. I can't wait to figure out what that hidden figure is and what happens in this book. Next is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. This one I am super excited about. It's dystopian with cannibalism in it. I think everybody has suggested me to put this as close to the top of next to read as possible, so hopefully soon I will be reading this one. And the last book I purchased from the horror list is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm very excited to jump into this vampire story. I recently just saw someone saying that Stephen Graham Jones is a slow burn when it comes to horror, which is one of my favorite ways to tell horror stories. So now I'm really excited to pick this book up when I do. Oh, God. Okay. It's the last stack. The last 3 books that I hauled fit into the category of adult fantasy. Starting with Son of Storms by Suyi, Davies, Okungbowa. This story focuses on a man who is a scholar in a city, and the city is surrounded by very big walls, and you're not allowed to go outside of them. So he wants to investigate. Through these investigations, though, he perchance views somebody using magic that is not allowed, and instead he focuses more on what's happening there. So I'm very excited to start this journey with this author, and I'm excited to see what comes. I don't know if this is a trilogy, but I do know there's a second book. The last 2 books that I hauled are from Steven Erickson, and they are the second books in their respected trilogies. The first one is The Fall of Light. This is part of the prequel series to the Malazan Book of the Fallen. It is a very meaty second book. The first book is nowhere near this size, so I'm very curious as to know what happens in this book. This trilogy is focusing on races that, without being spoilery, are some of the oldest races in the world of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, and you get to see, I'm pretty sure, the start of them them and their gods and how all of that became what it is as we know it right now. I am very picky though when it comes to this stuff, especially when it comes to the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I wait until all the books are out if I know it's going to be only a certain amount. So I'm really wanting him to finally finish that third book because he's finally writing it. Basically, he had an update saying he was writing the third book and it was going very, very well. So I'm very happy for him and I can't wait to have that in my hands so I can finally read this prequel series. The other series is the Karsa Orlong trilogy that focuses on the aftermath of the Malazan Book of the Fallen and on Karsa's story. We meet Karsa Orlong in the fourth book and he's an interesting character. Not one of my favorites, but he is a crowd favorite. So I get why Stephen Erickson was like, I should probably finish his story because it wasn't really completed in the 10. So I got the second book in that trilogy and Is No Light Forsaken. I do have the first one as well. And once again, I'm going to be waiting until that third book comes out for the trilogy. Yeah, it also makes me sad with this trilogy because once this is done and the prequel series, Stephen Erickson no longer is contracted with Tor to write any more books. So we'll see if we get anything else from him. We may be close to the end and that makes me sad. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you're interested in any of the books I hauled or if you've read any of them. Tell me your thoughts. Let me know what should be bumped up in the TBR and what should be pushed down maybe a little bit lower because it wasn't that great. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.